Here we are with our final video in this mini-series where I teach you how to draw a basic anime character. This one is the background tutorial. Now this is also going to be a very basic tutorial and I'm not going to do a lot of detail. The idea of this tutorial is to kind of mimic what I did with my redraw. This character here, where the background is just literally splodges and it's just like blurred out. That's kind of what I'm going to be teaching you what to do, just for beginner artists, because I know that when I used to do a lot of digital art, I would make my character and I would never put them in a background. So this tutorial is to kind of encourage you to start putting your character in a background, even if it's just like splotches and a blur. It's just to add a setting. And while we're at it, at the very end, we're going to do some extra little detailing. So in this remake picture, at the end, once I was done with the picture, I went over it and I did a little bit of a touch up on like the lighting and the coloring, just to make it pop a little bit more, make it glow a little bit more. So we'll do that as well. I've got here with me 3 different characters and I'm going to be putting them in different settings. The reason why I'm using these placeholders, because I'm lazy. So let's get right into it. So this first background that we're going to do, so I got 3 different reference images of backgrounds. We've got this forest one, we have this beach one, and we have like a sky view, a skydiving view. So we're going to be using all these references to create basically our background. We're gonna make it very, very splotchy, very blurry, so there's not gonna be much detail. It's just have fun with it, basically. Have fun with it. Start putting your character in backgrounds and it's gonna start looking very nice, very spice. Alright, let's get right into it. So, first one, this forest one. For this instance, right, for a beginner artist, color can still be a very complex thing to think about. So instead of worrying about trying to pick out your colors if you're new, use your references, use the colors that are in your references, and then try and build the background using kind of the same colors. It'll just help you build up that background, and then in the future you can start trying to do your own, you know? But for a beginner, like, just try and make it a little bit easier for yourself. Just make it easier, because there's so many different concepts to think about, like, the shape of the trees or the pathway or the leaves, the foliage, all that, the lighting and whatever, and there's just it gets a bit too overwhelming. So just make it a little bit easier for yourself. Take baby steps, small baby steps. All right, nothing. I won't judge you. I'm not gonna judge you. So we're just gonna start painting, basically. That's all we're doing. We're painting. So let's establish the floor. So that's our floor. So we've split our background into, we've got the floor where our character is standing on, and we've split kind of like the background behind that. Alright, cool. So I noticed that in our reference, it kind of like it darkens around here, like there's like a little bit of a transition. There's also a little bit more of a green from our trees. So maybe we'll add some splodges. All right, we've got a base for our background kind of done. Now, anything that's kind of closer to the foreground or our character, of course, is not going to be blurry. But now we've got like this base, we kind of can now do everything that's in the foreground. So kind of everything that's here, and around the footing of our character, even maybe this tree or this tree, anything that's close to the front will not be as blurry. So we can start building like all of this. We can neaten it up and put the most detail there, but everything else in the background, you don't need to put that much detail because it's gonna be blurry. It doesn't really matter. So let's do that. I was not recording. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, fantastic. There was a lot that I wasn't recording. That's great, but I'm still turning the foreground into like more focused and keeping the background very, very blurry. So let's continue doing that. Alright, that is a very, very basic background. If I continue to work on this background, I'm gonna be here all day, but you know, it doesn't have to be the best, right? Normally I would go in and I would refine this even further, but for the beginning, you know, this is good enough. This is good enough to get you to start drawing backgrounds and stuff. But that's for the forest. Let's do the beach. So the beach one might in fact be easier simply because there's not much to work with, if that makes sense. So like for the forest, you have all these different elements going on and it's very complex and different lighting and sources and all that stuff. But for the beach, not that much. Not that much. We don't have to really do much. We'll just have to separate. Alright, this is gonna be the water. Do that. I'm gonna get this. Okay, I got some clouds. Let's get this blue, right? And let's try and make our ocean a little bit prettier. Sand. Our sand is quite white. Quite white. There we go. That one was a little bit easier to do just because there's not that much element compared to the forest. But yeah, you know, you're keeping a lot of the detail kind of at the front, the forefront, and then the background is a little bit more like it's splotchy. It's just blurred, so it's like it works. It works out. It looks pretty nice. And now for our final background, we're gonna be doing a little bit of like a skydiving image. I want to tilt this. So this one's gonna be a lot of fun to do, I think. So we're gonna be doing a whole different perspective. So I want the background to be kind of tilted a bit. So the sky, start off with the sky. Now, where do I want it to stop? Get the clouds. I'm gonna separate it. Some more of the background, some of the mountains. I want to get some of these mountains in this picture. So actually what I'm going to do is, instead of this being the clouds, I'm going to do the clouds on a whole different layer. This will be clouds. All right, I changed my mind. This is going to be clouds. This is going to be mountains and stuff. Okay, now I see that there's a little bit of light and stuff going on here. So I'm just going to do some random little cool. And the final thing, of course, is the clouds. There we go, that's a pretty cool background. But yeah, that's basically it for backgrounds. Just kind of like build it up. Look at what your reference is. Look at what you're working on. Find ways to just build it. There's not really ways to like give advice when it comes to doing backgrounds. I think what helps me a lot is just looking at a reference and kind of just not thinking too hard about it, of course, keeping your foreground clear as possible and then the rest of the background blurry. Keep it blurry. As you can see, forest one, not the best. Of course, there's too many details going on. But like the beach and one in the sky are pretty cool because there's not really that much details to make it look nice. You don't really need to do much to make it look nice. The forest one, of course, I would spend a little bit more time on because there's heaps going on, but I think focus on these two. You're just breaking down references. That's all that you're doing. You're breaking down references and you're recreating the image. Also, it does help using like these textured brushes. Especially the cloud one. I think the cloud one's probably the best out of them all. But yeah, don't be afraid to use your resources. Use them. Chuck your characters in backgrounds. As for extra detailing and lighting, maybe it'll be more effective here. So our character, we know that there's this light coming on the background. So what you can do is do an add glow and just around your character, do like a glow. So your character stands out just that little bit more. Yeah, just add something a little bit more. And then on our character, we could even like add that, like the light is coming through our character, and that's just something like a little detail you can add, to add more color, make it pop out a bit more, make it blend in with the background. As for this one, like more noticing on the shading and the shadows. This one you could do more, so you could do like a little bit more of a harsher shadow and a reflective light from the background. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like a reflective light. Like think of your background, think of the lighting that's going on in the background. Don't be afraid to use secondary light sources. They make your characters pop out very nicely. Like you add your shadow and then you add the backlight or like the secondary light. How could I do it here? So, and we can add the lighting from the ocean, or even use the sand as a reflective light as well, which would be nice. Yeah, there's a lot you could do, a lot you could use, just to make your character pop out just that little bit more. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you learned something from this background. I don't think I did much talking for this tutorial. It was more just watching what I do, how I break down the background. But yeah, don't be afraid to start adding backgrounds to your characters. If you want to start somewhere, make it blurry, make it splotchy. Don't think too much, don't think too hard about it, just to get you started on something. And then you can start adding more detail and building it up bit by bit. That's kind of how I learned to do backgrounds. I just started. You have to start somewhere, basically. Depending on the kind of image you're wanting to get, you can do so much with it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope if you've been here for the entirety of this mini series, I hope you enjoyed and you learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. There's going to be so much more art related stuff that I'm going to be doing in the future. Like, I'm going to start working on the webtoon comic, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.